Hello, and welcome to another episode of Arena FPS News, episode number 23 with your hosts Galangua and Neeple. So this week we've got some very exciting tidbits for you, and we'll start off with a patch-up. So a game which you may have heard of called Reflex has had an anticipated patch for quite some time now, 0.36, where they've made things look very nice. Do you want to elaborate on that?
Yes, I do. It's basically an enormous art update.
Yes.
I mean, there's tons of other stuff, but the big thing that everyone's going to notice is the fact that everything is sexy now.
Yeah. So there's only one map at the moment that's actually been updated, which is the map which they it's kind of their showpiece, BDM3, and it looks very, very nice. But for me, more importantly, the weapons have new art, and I've been saying for like the longest time that this game would get so much more attention from people if more than one weapon had artwork done for it, and they do now. So that's really nice. It's just nice to like have a unique weapon style for each projectile you've got coming out of your weapony endy thingy.
Yeah, and hardcore players like to play a game and they want to turn off all the textures and be able to see their opponent really clearly, and they don't care what the weapons look like or anything like that. But casual players, when they load up Reflex and they think, oh, it's like that Quake game I've heard of, they don't want to come in and see nothing, basically. They want to come in and go, wow, this looks nice, it's fancy. So this is a big step in that direction.
Yeah, definitely. And there's been a few sound assets changed, like the teleporter now sounds glorious. And there's new spawning sound. And we'll link in the full patch notes, but there's been a lot of under the hood stuff. For the mappers out there, there's a whole new kind of mapping editor UI thingy, which there's probably footage of being shown right now. Unfortunately, neither of us map, so we can't really comment too much on that. But I mean,
I don't think it's going to be long until the mappers can start. I mean, is all this stuff available to the mappers? Do you know?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so we should be seeing updated versions of all the maps that we know and enjoy.
Yeah, definitely.
Just looking a lot nicer.
Definitely. Anything else you want to say about the Reflex patch, or?
No, it's excellent though. And 0.37, which is the next one, is the one that's scheduled to have CTF. So
Yes.
Already jumping on the hype train.
Cool. Shall we move on to project updates?
Yes.
So there's been a Reborn show, which is a little bit out of the blue, because there's not been one for at least 2 months, I think. May was the last one?
I think it's... Alright, I thought it was 4 weeks, but I'm not very good at timekeeping. It's been a long time.
I think it was... It might have been June, to be fair, but I think it was... I don't think we had any in July or August, but who knows. But there's some interesting stuff. Do you want to dial into that?
Yeah, so similar to Reflex, this update is mostly art stuff. So there's been a whole new railgun concept. I think he said he's got a new art guy doing concepts, but doing them really quickly and really professionally. So there was a new railgun concept. It looks really nice. A big improvement on the other one, I think. They applied a brick texture to the map that they're using. The map that's kind of a cross between Frantic and ZTN.
Yeah. And they've got some kind of little armor. I think they might have had that before, actually, but...
No, the armors are placeholders, I believe.
Oh, okay.
But they put in there like this teleporter artwork. They showed off a bunch of skins, like test skins that stuff you could do with an egg bot.
Yeah, that was quite interesting actually, because they had one for... There's a popular streamer called Hafu, and another one called Lyric, I want to say. I might have forgotten that. And he was kind of saying how popular streamers could kind of have their own kind of egg bot design, that some of the proceedings would go back to that streamer. So it's kind of like another way of monetizing the game, which is pretty cool. I mean,
they made a Dignitas one as well, which is really cool, because then teams could make their own egg bots and all the team members could use them. I think that's quite clever.
Yeah, something that's been missing in some of these kind of esport titles, where the team itself can't represent within the game client. So
yeah, same goes for sponsors as well.
Yeah, exactly. Although you don't want to see like egg bots with like MLG on the back and like little Pepsi and Mountain Dew and all those memes which people love so much. But yeah, there was quite a lot of discussion about abilities as well.
Yeah, so he started talking about how he's going to add some, or he's thinking of adding pick-upable abilities. And it didn't sound like they were going to be huge things like quad damage or anything. It sounded more like the example he gave was a swap ability, so it would charge your next shot with, if you hit your opponent, you swap position with them.
Yeah.
Which is quite interesting. So I kind of like the idea of not powerful pickups. You know, it's like extra little things to switch up the gameplay a little bit.
UT 2004 kind of did something like this with the little pill system. So for those of you that didn't play it, you could have different key press combinations, like forward, back, forward, back, forward, back. And then once you had 100 pill energy, you could use that key combination to kind of get an effect. Like one was like haste, another one was like more damage, or I can't remember them off the top of my head. And I kind of prefer, rather than having an extra big pickup, like a big powerful item like Red and Mega, but having something that's a little bit like you build up to it, and
yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Because the problem is, I can see that, because you're saying how he wants to put these in the items in the same room as these kind of powerful items like Red, where that just gives the player who's in control even more control efficient, essentially. Like if the player with the stack also has an ability, even if it's not necessarily that powerful, it gives them just more tools to kind of make it more stressful and difficult for the losing player, which might actually do the opposite of attracting players and put them off.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, it might just be the problem of putting them in the same room as the RA, when it could just be somewhere else on the map. I like the ideas of the power-ups. I'm not sure I like the idea of coupling them with major items.
Yeah. So I think that was anything else in the show he was talking about?
No, I mean, he's basically just said if anyone's got any cool ideas for power-ups, just Twitter him, email him, things like that.
Yeah.
And I think that means that next time we get a video, I mean, I say this every time, I think this means that next time we get a Reborn show, we're going to see gameplay shit, which is what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, he had some UI elements as well, which I don't think we've seen before, like the little bars.
They're not new, actually.
Up.
They were in the last show, actually.
Did he have the thing where it was the charging up every time you used an ability?
Yeah.
That's one. Okay. Maybe did we do a video on that? Maybe we.
Probably not. No, knowing us.
Well. Anyway, we can talk about it now quickly. There was a thing where every time you do a special ability like double jump or bolt or one of the movement abilities, it uses one of these bars you've got, a movement energy bar, and those kind of regenerate. It looked like about 5 or 6 seconds, but I couldn't give you an accurate answer on that.
And that kind of helps the fact that, because right now at least, if this is the way the movement's going to stay, which it probably isn't, given the fact that it's alpha, but
yeah,
there's so many movement techniques, which kind of makes the movement extremely powerful.
Yeah.
But attaching it to an energy system isn't a terrible idea, as long as it's not limiting to the point of not being fun.
Yeah, exactly. So also there's been some Unreal Tournament news. There's a new rocket launcher model which looks pretty nice, high poly. At the moment, it's trying to work through the new weapon, or the weapons they have, and move from Unreal Tournament 3 to new art style. So the new one, the high poly, looks pretty gorgeous. What do you think of it, Tim?
It's swell. It's excellent. UT is a sexy looking game.
And there's some new character concepts. So at the moment, there's only a Necris guy and Malcolm, and they're just kind of doing some concept art for new characters. So there's Genghis, Tay, Riker, Jacob, and Deslog, of varying nationalities by the looks of things. So, I mean, they all look pretty generic in terms of characters, I guess. All they're like 6-foot males, so there's not a lot to say. Of varying skin tones and hairstyles, and especially if you're gonna be wearing helmets and stuff over the top of your face, and I think the character models don't make a lot of difference. What are your thoughts?
I haven't actually seen the character models, but you know, more choice for the users.
Yeah.
Someone's gonna look at something and think, "Oh, that's cool," and set it, and that makes the player a little happier.
Yeah, I guess so. I just feel
like my Quake model.
I kind of like the direction that Diabotical's going, where each of the Eggbots are very kind of unique and kind of bold in terms of their art style, whereas kind of slightly different looking, like, male humanoid models are not all that.
Yeah, and I think in Diabotical as well, you'll be able to customize your Eggbots to make them quite unique to you as well, which is something you wouldn't really get. Actually, no, because UT's got hats.
Yeah, it's got hats
like
already,
that,
so I think that those kind of things can make more of a difference in the base model, but
Yeah.
More stuff's always cool. So there's some more stuff coming out in the UT soon, but that's pretty much it for now. Let's move on to the next bit. Okay, and next up, so along with all the other changes that we're due to receive for Quake Live, probably I think it's September time was the rumours. The newest one which we've been informed of is crouch sliding. So I know you're very much into the Quake 4 crouch sliding. Could you inform me what you feel about this in your cockles?
I'm very happy. So yeah, it's going to be a server option, toggleable. So just like you can turn on air control, you can turn on crouch sliding, or you will be able to, I assume.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a nice little extra feature to have. I really like crouch sliding, so I'm going to be trying to crouch slide in every duel I have from now on in Quake Live.
I hope you can have air control and crouch sliding on, like the turbo and the crouch sliding mode, and just have crazy fast, like crazy kind of athletic. You might need to, like, the maps might not suit it very well, but
no,
interesting to see.
That's another interesting thing as well. The person who revealed all the crouch sliding stuff in a previous video had showed off him messing around on Monsoon, which is a Quake 4 map.
Yeah.
Which, if that's coming as well, that would be definitely suited to crouch sliding.
Yeah, definitely, because it's kind of, there's quite a few jumps there which are, you don't need them, but it kind of aids your movement around the map.
Yeah, and I hope they stick in some other, I mean, maybe as just a whole server option, but maybe if they, actually this could already be in the game, but I hope they stick in things like shooting through teleporters and the little ramp jumps you can do in Quake 4, because I really enjoyed the whole gameplay of that game, and it's dead.
Yeah.
So it would be nice to do it in Quake Live.
So yeah, that's coming to Quake Live at some point. When it's out, we'll tell you all about it. Or you might know, you might have played it before, you never know. So this has been another episode of Arena FPS News. Hope you've enjoyed it. The last one we did pretty well actually, so thank you everyone for watching that and supporting us, because we felt very warm in our hearts and souls and minds. So thank you very much, and we'll talk to you personally and have more information for you very soon.